Imagine a world where cars can do all sorts of things, like walk up stairs, wade through rivers, and reach record-breaking speeds on any terrain. Well, in fact, this world already exists, and we're living in it. Many famous car companies have created never-before-seen futuristic car concept models that will revolutionize the entire industry in no time. Are you ready to see the supercar that repairs itself? Perhaps a real-life Batmobile? Buckle up, because you're about to meet the only supercar that's alive. Presenting the Lamborghini Terzo Millennio, Italian for the Third Millennium. This one-of-a-kind car was launched by Italian automobile manufacturer Lamborghini and produced in partnership with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology as a futuristic concept vehicle. It's the first result of a 3-year collaboration between the two organizations, worth almost £100 million. Lamborghini's next generation of cars will serve as their super-powered batteries and be able to repair themselves. That's right, it can repair themselves should there be damages to itself. Automobili Lamborghini unveiled its Terzo Millennio or Third Millennium concept car at the M-Tech conference in the American city of Cambridge in Massachusetts. The car is the product of the first 12 months of a 3-year partnership between the car maker and the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So, how does it work? The release of the concept comes just after the Lamborghini inked a partnership with MIT, which brings the new technologies in energy storage systems as well as new materials to the table. On the academic side, this was led by the Dinka Research Lab and the Meko Synthesis Group. Instead of the usual batteries, this concept would store energy in carbon fiber nanotubes. This change in energy storage system that MIT and Lamborghini have envisioned must, however, also be backed by new materials, which is why MIT has introduced the newly created carbon fiber materials to the car. The supercar's most interesting feature is, however, that it could potentially self-heal, locating small cracks and damages in its hull before they spread. Using an array of sensors, the Terzo Millennio, which translates from Italian to the Third Millennium, can perform its health check, detect any damages to the car, and self-repair itself by filling cracks with nanotubes to prevent them from spreading. Collaborating with MIT for our research and development team is an excellent opportunity to do what Lamborghini has always been very good at, updating the rules on supercars, said Lamborghini CEO Stefano Domenicali. We are motivated by accepting what is unthinkable today to form the possibilities of tomorrow. Rather than using conventional batteries, the all-electric Lamborghini concept is powered by supercapacitors. This setup allows the Terzo Millennio to charge faster and to hold more energy than a regular battery, resulting in extended autonomy. These supercapacitors would be able to charge within seconds according to the company. These are made using carbon, which allows them to be formed into the Lamborghini's body panels, since they are lighter and smaller than conventional batteries. The new Lamborghini collaboration allows us to be determined and think outside the box in designing new materials and answer energy storage challenges for the demands of an electric sports vehicle. According to statements made by Lamborghini executives following the release of the concept, supercapacitors were also chosen as a no-battery system and can hold the necessary amount of power to create a functioning supercar due to their large size and weight. In this effort to optimize space and most importantly weight, Lamborghini has incorporated 4 different size engines that each power a separate wheel. Each of the wheels of the car has its integrated electric motor, offering the complete 4-wheel drive experience that is well familiar to the Italian luxury car manufacturer. Free from cumbersome standard engine, designers and engineers also had greater freedom to use these futuristic technologies, like maintaining the visual identity of Lamborghini's signature. This was also blended into an electric design for the Terzo Millennio, with each wheel lighting up in red color as a supercar roars across the street. Lamborghini has already used low-voltage supercapacitors for the past 5 years in its V12 Aventador. The idea with this concept is, however, to develop a car capable of storing energy within these supercapacitors, regenerate kinetic energy, and not be affected by the weight of an aging system over time. What stole the hearts of the world is its self-healing properties. The Terzo Millennio's self-healing capability also derives from this structure with reduced weight. By using carbon fiber nanotubes, the Lamborghini will be able to detect cracks and damages through a self-check system, as well as deploy the required healing chemistries through microchannels in the structure to prevent cracks from spreading. For the driving cockpit, Lamborghini has, however, an idea that may sound even more out of this world than the fact that the Terzo Millennio will be able to heal itself. The Italian manufacturer wants to make it possible for a virtual pro driver to drive the car automatically when it's on the track, and for the driver to possibly just enjoy watching the real-life video game experience. There's no indication that Lamborghini has made any strides into developing this system yet. As executives say, this model is about preparing for the future of sports cars. The concept, however, does imply that a technology to drive supercars by themselves is on the horizon. While still remote, this goes in hand with the self-driving technology the likes of Google and Uber are developing at the moment. True to Lamborghini tradition, the car has a lean, windswept design and the brand's trademark wide taillights. The windshield seems to extend from the top of the car almost to the driver's toes, and the body crouches so low it almost looks like an outgrowth of the road. Yet the most remarkable aspects of this car are invisible, not least because they don't exist. As for the design, well, it's Lamborghini, and it largely looks like one. The company's traditional design language is here, in the form of sharp angles on all sides. However, with the removal of traditional drivetrain, the cabin is pushed forward a great deal. Air channels are everywhere to help keep the car as planted as possible. When it comes to feeling, don't imagine some sort of robotic, soundless computer here. The Terzo Millennio has some control, but it's shown to help the owner become a better driver. It could be capable, however, theoretically, of taking a driver around a track to display the best driving lane, so that drivers can enhance their abilities without an actual coach sitting shotgun. It treats autonomy as a means to an end rather than the end itself. We are inspired to accept what is impossible today to design tomorrow's realities. Lamborghini must always create the dreams of the next generation, said Domenicali. The evolution and further development of the traditional Lamborghini Y signature in the front and rear lights is an example of a very strong argument, the company said. The design is based on a new architecture, completely dedicated to perfecting airflow, explained Lamborghini. Lamborghini and MIT original target was to also have the Millennium to heal itself by automatically detecting cracks and damage in the carbon structure and fixing them in the bodywork filled with healing chemistries through microchannels, and it seems to be paying off. We are motivated by embracing what is impossible today to craft the realities of tomorrow, Lamborghini boss Stefano Domenicali said at its unveiling at the M-Tech conference in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Lamborghini must always create the dreams of the next generation. The project began a year ago in 2019, Mr. Domenicali added. Exactly 1 year ago at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, we signed an agreement with MIT Italy program, which marked the beginning of a partnership between two outstanding entities to build a project that intends to write an important page for the future of supercars for the third millennium. A lot of innovation that came and made its way into consumer cars started with things like Formula One, motor racing, and supercars, says Mencia Dinka, an associate professor of chemistry at MIT, whose lab is one of the two working with the car maker. Here's an interesting little story about the famous Lamborghini company. Founded in 1963 by Ferruccio Lamborghini, a former tractor producer, the Italian manufacturer's initial goal was to produce grand touring cars capable of competing with established brands such as Ferrari. After an initial successful 10-year run, Lamborghini sold the company to entrepreneurs Rossetti and Lemire in 1974, following the economic crisis of 1973. In 1980, Lamborghini went bankrupt and acquired out receivership by the Mimran brothers. The Mimrans heavily invested in the company and grew its product line. By 1987, they sold it to the Chrysler Corporation, and in 1994, Chrysler launched the Diablo and sold the business to Malaysian investment party Myocom Sedco and V-Power. In 1998, they sold it to the current owner of Lamborghini, Volkswagen, who developed the brand throughout the recent years. The first concept Lamborghini ever presented was a 350 GTV in 1963. Ever since, the company created some concept throughout its over half a decade of existence. Most of these were, however, never put into projection due to the low demand or impossibilities in production. Rather increasingly, despite most car enthusiasts knowing what Lamborghini is, less than 30,000 Lamborghinis have been sold since the brand was created, a low figure comparing to BMW's more than 100,000 electric vehicles sold this year. reflecting just a small portion of their production. Of course, the price tag is different, with some Lamborghinis commanding baseline costs of over 2 million euros. Could you see yourself gliding silently through the streets of tomorrow in this bad boy? Or do you prefer any other cars that roam the street? Let us know in the comments and check out some of our other cool videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.